Okay, so on to question 4 next. So we're then asked, so it's still 2017, paper 1. And we're asked solve for x. 11x minus 5 times 2x minus 1 is equal to this thing over here. And we're asked to solve for x. So down at the very end here, I should write x is equal to some number. That's my goal, okay? So I have a number of things happening before I get down to this goal. I have to go from here all the way down to here, and I'm going to do some legitimate maths along the way. So I suppose to get started, well, we could look at this all day and think about, oh God, that's a nasty looking thing. But realistically, when we look at it, we should be thinking, what can I do to it? What do I know I can do? And 11x, well, he's just happy enough sitting there. He's not really being asked to do anything at the moment. But this thing here, this minus 5, he's being told to multiply this bracket, and this 3 is being told to multiply that bracket. So that might be our first thing to do. So let's do that multiplication. So we have 11x, ooh, was my pen dead? So we have 11x minus 10x plus 5. Are we okay with that? So minus 5 by 2x is minus 10x, and minus 5 by minus 1 is plus 5. That's going to equal 18 minus 3x plus 3. So that's looking a lot nicer now because I can tidy that up. So 11x take away 10x, well that's just x, plus 5 on that side is equal to 21 minus 3x on the other side. So now, well, if I need to get x by itself down here, actually, I'll be able to write it. So the difference between down here and up here is we have numbers on the wrong side, and we have a number in front of an x. We're going to have to do our usual algebra to get rid of those things. The first thing I'm going to get rid of is adding 5 on this side. So I get x is equal to 21 minus 3x minus 5. So x is now equal to, what is it, 16 minus 3x. I'm now going to get rid of the minus 3x on that side by adding 3x to the other side. So x plus 3x is equal to 16. So 4x is equal to 16. So therefore, x is equal to 16 all over 4. So x must equal 4. So that's my answer. I can get rid of that. That's kind of nonsense. Okay, so that's how we would tackle that question. Yeah. Okay, nothing too weird there. I suppose the hardest thing was how to make a start. And once you started it, it kind of fell apart then. But you'd look at this thing up here and it's a really nasty looking piece of algebra, right? But I suppose look beyond that and think about just what can I do? I have to make a start somewhere, so what can I do? Solve the simultaneous equations. So we've been given these simultaneous equations, and when we're in a simultaneous equation question, we ask ourselves, which type is it? Is it the easy type or is it the more difficult type? So because of these squares here, they're kind of the indicators of what type it is. So it's the more difficult type, okay? So we cannot just try and kill off the y's or the x's. That won't work in this scenario. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to use our system of isolate and substitute. So we're going to try and isolate first of all, and probably the handiest thing to isolate is this y here. So we're going to get him by himself. So we're going to get y is equal to 2x minus 5. So that's coming from this line up here, all the way into there. Okay, so y is equal to 2x minus 5. Now, that's a fact, okay? So that's a fact. So it's a fact that y is equal to 2x minus 5. So therefore, this y up here, well, he's also equal to 2x minus 5. So I can rewrite this line here as x squared plus 2x minus 5 all to be squared is equal to 25. So I have turned this y here into 2x minus 5. So this line down here comes from up here. I might just make that red line very obvious. It's pointing at the top one. Okay. So, I suppose maybe we'll ask ourselves, well, that looks pretty nasty. There's squares in a few places there. So what can I do? What's the first thing I can do here? Well, I know how to square this thing here. I know how to square that out. So let's do that. X squared plus, well, we know that 2x minus 5 to be squared means we multiply it by itself. That's what squaring means, right? So I can keep going here. So x squared plus 4x squared minus 10x minus 10x plus 25 equals 25. I now have 5x squared minus 20x plus 25 is equal to 25. What type of equation is that? So that is a quadratic equation. So to solve quadratic equations, we have a problem that it needs to equal to what? What should be on the right hand side there? Yeah, so that should be a 0 really. So how am I going to get rid of adding 25 on that side? I will go 5x squared minus 20x plus 25 minus 25 is equal to 0. So 5x squared minus 20x plus 0 equals 0. So I can now use my minus b formula. So I go minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. And that's going to be all over 2a. So, sorry about that. So it's b, which is minus 20, a, which is 5, and c, which is 0, and 2a, which is 5. And that's going to be x is equal to. So x is equal to, and I'll have two answers here. So I'm going to have fraction minus start bracket minus 20 plus the square root of minus 20 squared minus 4 start bracket 5 start bracket 0 close bracket down below 2 bracket 5 close bracket, and that's equal to 4. So x is equal to 4, or x is equal to, go back into it and change my plus to a minus, delete minus equals, or x equals 0. So I now have what my x is equal to. Do I put my lid back on my pen? Am I done? No, obviously not, because up here the questions had an x and a y in it. So I'm going to have to find both of those things now. But I have a formula up here for what y is. See this formula up here? Tells me that y is equal to 2x minus 5, and you will always have that in these isolated substitute questions. So we can now say that y is equal to 2 times 4 minus 5. So y must equal to 3, or y is equal to 2 times 0 minus 5, so y is equal to minus 5. So that is my two answers. X equals 4, y is equal to 3, or x equals 0, y is equal to minus 5. Two answers. Here we go. So I think that's the entire question 4. Yep. Okay.